Well, it has been in the hundreds this last few days, so I've been playing Elden Ring. As if you follow the channel, you'll see some videos I've been posting. But today the carburetor finally came in. It is currently, well, it was 104, so I'm going to see how long it takes me to get this carburetor off. If I overheat, then I'm going inside and I'll come back out in the morning. If not, I will try to get it all done right now. I've taken the air cleaner cover off, and I'm going to go ahead and move the main body here just up and out of the way, and then we'll see about popping this carburetor off. Alright, so far I have popped off the linkage, the plug to that, the plug that goes to this guy, the plug on the choke, these two hoses. So I just need to unplug this guy here, which is a straight pull, maybe. There we go. And now just the fuel line itself, and then I can go ahead and get the 4 bolts holding the carburetor down. Oh, and this vacuum line. There is another vacuum line there and one in the back I'll pull off, but I'll do that when I get up to those rear bolts. Okay, and just like that, carburetor's off. I so far have only dropped one of the nuts onto the ground. I gotta hunt it down real quick. But the carburetor's here. It does have a lot of gas in it, but looking at these screws, yeah, I don't know. But it is literally, it doesn't matter what angle, it's just pouring out on the inside here. So I don't know, maybe when the fuel pump decided to blow up, it blew that little valve in there, stuck. But yeah, so I'm gonna get down here on the ground real quick and hunt down the missing bolt nut. All right, found it. It ended up way back there, almost underneath the exhaust. I dropped it way over there. It's amazing how far these things will go. I do have another Black Widow taking up residence. The wheels are cobwebbed to the ground pretty good. So, and that pipe is off again, so we'll need to put that back on. But first I need to get the other carburetor, swap a couple pieces over from the old one to the new one, and then we should be pretty good to go. Alright, there's our new carb, there's our old carb. Pretty much it all looks pretty decent. It looks like they replaced this plastic stepper with the metal one. I do notice that this arm is bent. Should be straight like that one. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to bend it. I do need to swap this part onto this carburetor because it's not, this one didn't come with one. But everything else, it's got the, I think they call this the stepper motor. It's got the pigtail for, I guess that's part of the choking system. And we've got airport, 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 air plug, air plug. We have 2 vents on the bottom, 2 vents on the bottom, and we should have one in the front that is plugged, and one in the front that is plugged. All right. These come with plastic screws, but you can see how far wound in those were. That's back to where they were compared to this. So we're going to assume that there were some sort of issues. I am going to screw these down just to see how far they are out. We want about 1.5 turns. Did come with 2 new gaskets for the little spacer plate, and it came with a new wing nut and air cleaner support. But yeah, it was about $170 shipped. Got it from Parks Geek. There's no numbers on this box. There's no numbers, there's no information as to what is, if this has got some sort of preset going on. So like I said, we're gonna screw those in and test them just to make sure that they are at least 1.5 turns out, and then we'll start reassembling it. All right, so solenoid has been swapped over. The new air cleaner hold is been installed. Got new hardware for it. Put the old one here in the bag with the old carburetor, so I'll go with the Jeep. Got my new gaskets, so now we're gonna go over there, see about putting it on. All right, got the old gaskets off, put them in the bag, got the new gaskets on. So now it's ready for the carburetor. Get the hardware out of the box and we'll start reassembling. Okay, so we got our vacuum line hooked up. We have the wire here hooked up. We got our fuel line hooked back up. We have our vacuum line here, the choke. This plug needs some lubricant because it doesn't want to seat all the way. This one is seated. The 2 vacuum lines that go down here to the back of the carburetor hooked up, and I just need to pop the little ball thing on for the throttle, and I still need to bend this arm right here so that it's straight because it's pointing off to one side. I'm gonna get my pliers when I go get my spray lube, and then I still gotta plug in these. I need to get a Y fitting so the angle is better going up to here, because right now it's like this hard angle, but for right now this is working. But yeah, I'll need to change this out because this is just too much of an angle. So those are plugged back in. So the only thing we have is that one plug and the throttle, and then we can try it, and hopefully it runs better. I did check the one side, it was about 1 1/4, so I made them both about 1 1/2, and that's where we're going to start at, and hopefully just everything's fine. I know we're going to have to make some adjustments, but we'll have to do that once it's warmed up a little bit, but I just want to hear it run. All right, so I bent the arm so that it's straight. We're gonna go ahead and hit it, and I know there's no gas up at the carburetor, so I'm gonna crank it over a few times and then hope for the best. Well, it actually started after like 3 cranks. Well, it's running better than it did before. So that's a plus. So the carburetor will need to be adjusted. But geez, it started right up. I don't even know. There must have been enough gas up here because I only cranked it about 4 times and it fired, so. But it's back to idling good. Probably a little high, it sounds high. Yeah, it's just at about 1,000. So, cold start, fresh carburetor. Choke is still trying to be on. But that's nice and smooth. Alright, we're going to let it run for a few minutes. I'm checking for leaks. I don't have any leaks here at the fuel line. I'm not hearing any vacuum leaks. So that is a huge plus. No smoke popping out of the exhaust. That's nice. It was popping before. Yeah, I think maybe when that fuel pump went out, it did something to the inside of the carburetor, overpressurized, might have bent the float. I don't know, because that was all of a sudden when that fuel pump let go. Alright, well, I'm going to let this run for a few minutes, and I'll be back in a couple. She's running really good at idle, but when I try to give her gas, the choke wants to slap shut, which probably means I need to adjust the choke back a little bit to make it right. But if I hold the choke open while giving it gas, it's fine. We should be at temp now. I've idled it down just a little bit. Temp is about 180, almost 190, I guess. Just short, about 185. Still running nice and smooth. So, yeah. But it sounds good. It sounds nice and smooth again. So, that problem is solved. Like I said, I just need to adjust the choke because this is warmed up and it's still wanting to stay shut. If I give it any throttle, it snaps shut again. So we'll make some adjustments tomorrow morning once it's cooled down, and we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's California. I don't really need a choke. Alright, so it's definitely warmed up now. I still do have to hold the throttle open to get it to, or not the throttle, but the choke plate open. So I believe it just needs to be a little adjusted, but I did get the idle down to about 950-ish, 900, 950. Temperature is just in between like the 180, 190 mark. So it's actually running cooler than it did. Like I said, it's 104 today, so but yeah, seems to be running pretty good. Definitely can smell the carburetor stuff I put in there, the sea foam. So gonna head and shut it off, button it up for the night, come out here tomorrow, set the choke when everything's cold, and hopefully that's it. And we can contact a few people that had been asking about it. I told them I didn't want to show it until I got the new carburetor on, so I'm kind of glad I did. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the other carburetor. It ran good after I cleaned the Venturis, then the fuel pump went out and everything went to shit, so who knows. But now it's running good, so thanks for watching.